Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the DKS number WS675. This is what's called a wood stud anchor. So the manufacturer of this is DKS. WS wood stud. This is definitely a wood stud anchor, although you could also consider it a multi-purpose anchor as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. The 675 means that this anchor is made for 6 3/4 jam depth hollow metal frames. And how this works is that it basically will go into the throat of the frame and you'll snap it in place and it'll just stay there, is how it'll work. Let's go over the dimensional properties before we talk about the anchor. Being for a 6 3/4 jam depth, it's going to basically be 6 3/4 overall width of the unit. It'll have a depth that's going to be, just basically 2 inch, and that's by design as well. The length of these straps that are back here, about 9 inch overall, with a height on the back side about 13/16. Now let's talk about how it's used. Now, wood stud anchor. You basically take one of these, or 3 or 4, depending on or more, depending on the height of the door, or as many as you feel is appropriate. Industry standard will tell you 3 per jam, up to 89 inch, 90 inch and above go to 4 anchors, and then an additional anchor probably for every 30 inch after that, something in that range. But 3 is common, 4 if you're doing 8-footers. You would take this and snap it into place, so that it's going to be held on the inside of the throat of the frame just by these tabs. Being a wood stud anchor, you would then literally take these tabs and bend them over and then put the screws through the edge here into your wood or your metal stud. That's precisely how these are used as a wood stud anchor. Now, I mentioned it could be used as a multi-purpose anchor, and it can be. You can use this as an expansion anchor preparation, an existing opening prep, where you could and it's really not ideal for it, but you could drill a hole into the jam and then run a sleeve anchor down through this hole that goes all the way through. So you could use it as a frame stiffener to prevent the frame from crushing in as you tighten the bolt. Obviously, if you're going to use this in that regard, you're going to have to make an accommodation for the dimple that will be done in the frame. You might have to just cut that out a bit. In that sort of scenario, my opinion, the anchor should always be welded in. Always, all the time, except of course if it's a wire anchor. Well, there would be some anchors that you cannot weld in, but if they can be, weld them in. In a stud anchor like this can certainly be welded in, and very often from the factory they will be welded in place if they're requested to be welded in place, but not always. They're generally shipped loose, so qualify that at the time you're ordering the steel frames if you want them welded in. Anyway, existing opening prep, you can get that into the frame. You would take these tabs, you can simply cut them or bend them back over and stick them inside of here, is how that would work. Or you could also use it as a metal stud anchor, whereas if you took this and you did bend it backside, you could run your zip screws through this flange as well. So multi-purpose anchor in the sense that it can be used without too much modification for wood stud, metal stud, existing opening prep. And really the only thing that it can't be used for is a new masonry installation where you really need a corrugated T-anchor or possibly a wire anchor. Okay, it's made of steel. It's spangled. Welcome to 1976. That's what the garbage can used to look like in the alleys of Chicago, just maybe your neighborhood too. Spangled, galvanized is what's going to be on here. That's it. Wood stud anchor. Why would you order these? Well, your frames came with the wrong anchors and the factory can't get them to you fast enough, or you lost them, or you decided to make a change. You're not going to do an existing opening prep, or you're not going to do a masonry opening because they came with T-anchors because they were not specified. Who knows why? Lots of reasons why you would need loose anchors. There's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the DKS products that we sell, but you're also going to be able to pull up a link to the parts price list, and that will allow you to look at all of the components, the anchors, the bolts, the piece parts, the filler plates that are used in generally either a hollow metal manufacturing shop, but more commonly a distributor who does welding on site, customization to doors, windows, re-railing, restyling, lock preparations, etc. If you have any questions on the DKS, and when you buy one, they're you're getting one. Be sure to buy the right quantity. This client happened to order 6. If you have any questions on the DKS WS675 wood stud anchor for a 6 3/4 jam depth frame or any other DKS product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.